Hey there, welcome to CNT Collectibles. I'm C. I hope you are doing well today. Today we're going to take a look at the center fielders in our offseason Hall of Fame tracker. This is the exercise I do on an annual basis just to make sure that the players I'm putting money into are on the track. If they're falling off the track, I'll do something else, but I want to make sure they stay completely or somewhat relevant, not completely relevant, stay somewhat relevant, so I don't just sit on things and let them go. And this is true with any investment. Take a look on an annual basis and just make sure they're doing what you need them to do if you have any money concerns, anything like that tied up into them. So anyways, we'll start off with with some Hall of Fame statistics. There's 24 center fielders in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. The average wins above replacement of all those Hall of Famers is 75. Highest Fangraphs WAR 149.8. Willie Mays. Most hits 4189. Ty Cobb. Most home runs, the aforementioned Willie Mays. He's good, apparently. 3,000 hit club, Cobb, Tris Speaker, and Willie Mays. 500 home run club, Mays, Griffey, and Mickey Mantle. So some big thumpers in that group here. A very high bar for our players. Let's see who's on or off that track. A couple of guys coming up in the 2024 Hall of Fame ballot. They're going to take their shot at it. Carlos Beltran, or is it Juan LeBron? Awards. He's got a Rookie of the Year, 9 All-Star games, 3 Gold Gloves, and a top 5 MVP finish for his career. 27-25 in terms of hits, 435 home runs, and 68 wins above replacement. On the surface, seems like he's satisfied most of the requirements that you would want, especially in today's day and age. If we start stacking him up against the Mays, Speaker, Cobbs of the world, well, anybody's going to fall short, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute here. He's been on the ballot for a couple of years. Last year, he got 46.5% of the vote, so he's very closely approaching that 50% number. 50% of the vote is a pretty important number if you've not taken PEDs, if you've not gambled on baseball, but if you've had a relatively clean baseball life. 50% of the vote gets you in. Anybody who's gotten to that number is in the Hall of Fame. Gil Hodges was the lone holdout, and he got in a couple of years ago. So no guarantee you get in by the baseball writers, but eventually you're probably getting in. So we'll see if he can hit that number. A player that has hit that mark, Andrew Jones. So in his career, 5 All-Star games, 10 Gold Gloves, Silver Slugger, 1,900 hits, 434 home runs, and 66 wins above replacement. What we would like to have seen from him, and this is why it's taken him multiple years to get in. I think this is going to be his 7th or 8th year on the ballot. The reason he's not already in is because he did not play for a terribly long time in baseball terms. At about age 31, he fell right off a cliff. And you can see that he absolutely flatlined. He wasn't able to slowly, gradually decline. It was just it was a hard stop for the most part here. So if he was able to get up around 26, 27 hits, 75 wins above replacement, just add a few more years, this would be a no-doubter. But as it stands, he did such a nice job in that first decade. Willie Mays called him the best center fielder that he's ever seen. High praise indeed. Did enough for that 10 years that he's getting serious consideration, and again, over 58% of the vote. So this is maybe not the year that he gets in, but he should really approach that 75% number within the next couple of years and eventually get in. So whether it's by the baseball writers or some committee, who knows? But I think that the baseball writers will get him in the next couple of years as he gets very, very close. The closer you get, you're just magnetically drawn here. So Hall of Famers. Again, that aging curve is kind of nasty, starting around age 31, 32, really around age 34. They're off a cliff here, and that's about the end of their productive lifespan. They take a lot of beating there, but if you're able to put up some monster numbers early, then you're on a pretty nice track here. Around age 23 up until age 30, you're a 4+ win player. Between age 24 and 28, you're a 5+ win player. So what we're looking for out of our players here is just, can you average 5 wins or fewer going forward to stay on that Hall of Fame path? If you have to average 6 or 7 wins over a period of time, that's probably a little too much. A lot of this is from Willie Mays, Tris Speaker, Ty Cobb. Look at Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle. They just had some monster years in that pre-25 age, and so this really skews things. And so we're going to take out, for comparison purposes, Mays, Speaker, and Cobb. These players had monster numbers here. Willie Mays, 149 wins above replacement. Ty Cobb, 149 wins above replacement. Tris Speaker, 130 wins above replacement. We're going to remove them because, for the most part, the players today they're not going to get to those numbers. It's not a realistic number. If and it's mostly because of replacement level players. Back in the day they weren't very good. Now they're good. So to be that much better than a replacement level player, forget about it. And so if we can get to 60 wins by about 35, and then just tack on a few and get to that 65, 70 win area overall, yeah, that's probably pretty good. Throw in some awards. And you can punch your ticket to the Hall. So we have some notables that are off the track here. Jazz Chisholm, 25 years old, injured, not helping you. Don't do that in the early going here. He's about 1/3 of where he needs to be on that Hall of Fame pace, and needs to average over 5 to get to that 60 by 35. So if he has a couple of monster seasons, then maybe he gets himself back on the track. But as of now, we are off the track here. Dalton Varsho, same thing here. So. Nine wins to his name. Average Hall of Famer at age 26 has 23, so he has to average close to 6. Brian Reynolds, about a little under half of where he needs to be. And Byron Buxton, when he plays, he's terrific, but he hasn't played over 100 games in a season. I think maybe he's done that once in his career. He's just not healthy, so he's halfway to where he needs to be. So, which is pretty incredible. He's playing half the time, he'd be on the track, I suppose. But you got to come up early, you got to produce, and you got to stay healthy. These players have not been able to do that. There's a few players that have a chance at it. It's a little too early to get excited, but worth watching here. Jason Dominguez, 20 years old, 1/3 of a win, and the average Hall of Famer at that age has just over a win, and so he has to average under 4 wins per season to stay on that track. If you're really good, you're going to put up a 6-7 win season, and make that number even more attainable. Now he's injured. Next year's gonna be a bit of a lost season, so that's gonna hurt his overall prospects. But he sure has the talent to do something. Pete Crow Armstrong, Riley Green is pretty interesting here. Had a productive season, 3 wins at age 22, and so he's not too far off the path here, and he can certainly put up a 5-win season, 6-win season, and make up for that time here. So a few other players here. Dylan Carlson, not playing I think he found himself in a bit of a platoon last year, and that's not going to be great for his prospects going forward, but for now, he makes the list, and so we'll get into some more, some higher level targets here. So Lubob came out last year and did what I think people were looking for him to do in 2020 when he first came up here. And so not a whole lot the past couple of years, some injuries. And then last year he had that 5-win season. He was one of the best players in the game. So he's for his career, a lot of that production came in the last season, but we know what he's capable of. He's shown now what he's capable of. And so if he can continue to do that, well, we might have something here. So he's tracking the average Hall of Famer. The trajectory is there, and so maybe he can accelerate towards that line with a couple 5- and 6-win seasons, maybe throw up a 7-win season. And, well, then we got something here. 25 years old, 11 Fangraphs WAR, needs to average just under 5 to get to that 60 by 35. Hits, home runs. We'll start to see where he's at in a few years here. But again, decent start here, but last year really showed what he can do, and so that gives me a little bit of hope here. 124 weighted runs created, All-Star game, and a Silver Slugger in that terrific season last year, Gold Glove in 2020. So if you're able to put it all together, stay healthy, do that for a few years, well, we might have something. So we'll continue to watch. Cody Bellinger, just 27 years old, 21 Fangraphs WAR. He had an MVP season and then nothing for 3 years. That doesn't help your case. You go from generational to meh. And so last year he showed a little bit of a resurgence of what he's capable of, and so we'll see if he can keep that acceleration going here. 4.8 wins on an annual basis is what's needed to get to that 60 by 35. 800 hits, 178 home runs, 120 weighted runs created. Now, if he's close and he's able to play for a while and track this line fairly closely by staying healthy and continuing to play well, that MVP is going to be a very, very nice tiebreaker. Aren't a whole lot of those out there. And so if you're close, the MVP gets you in Rookie of the Year, a couple All-Star games, and a Gold Glove. So he does remain just under the line. But again, this is an average. Above the line, generational. Below the line, meh, Hall of Famer. But again, that MVP, that is a big deal here. So, all right, Michael Harris, just 22 years old, but you can't ask a whole lot more from him. He's been terrific. So, Fangraphs WAR of 8.8. He's had a 4.9 season and a 4 season. We've got a little rounding error in there somewhere, I'm sure. And he's to average just under 4 wins on an annual basis, which that's what he's done so far. If you can start mixing in a 5, 6, maybe a 7, then he's really legit here. So we'll watch that. But right now, it's a fairly legit path here on that. And maybe not generational, but above average path. He's got a little room to play with here. 270 hits, 37 home runs, and a 125 weighted runs created. He has a Rookie of the Year to his name. Let's see if he can start adding some Silver Sluggers, Gold Gloves, things of that nature. But as of now, his path is a little bit easier than some. Let's see if he can keep it going. This is what he's done, and we just have to get him to keep it going. Now, you can't just be a 4-win player, for 15 years and get to that 60. You do have to, have some big seasons sprinkled in there. Well, I shouldn't say you don't have to. Harold Baines is in the Hall of Fame, but we'll see if he can pop off for a good year or two mixed in with those 4-win seasons, and that should be good. So, all right, Julio Rodriguez, he's good. He's really good. 22 years old, 11 Fangraphs WAR. A couple of 5+ win seasons out of him, and so he needs to average 3.75 wins on an annual basis. So actually pretty close to Michael Harris, and not too far off from each other. But J-Rod, I think, has the more explosive upside. When you're looking at Hall of Famers, you're looking for production early. You're looking for production over a period of time, and you're looking for a couple of monster seasons, and I think he's got the potential. I don't think it's no surprise there. A lot of people would say he has the potential to do that MVP level seasons here and there. So 325 hits, 60 home runs, but an elite 135 weighted runs created, a top 5 MVP, Rookie of the Year, couple of All-Star games, couple of Silver Sluggers. So, if he does that every year he's in the league, then yes, he will go down as one of the all-time best. He will be a generational type player. So let's see if he can keep it going. Like this guy came out and just took off like a shot and hasn't really looked back. He's had a couple of missed seasons here, but even when he's had partial seasons, he's been terrific. So the talent is sort of there, so we'll see if he can stay healthy. So 31 years old, 85 wins above replacement for Mr. Trout, 60 by 35. Well, he left that in the dust quite a while ago. 1,600 hits, 368 home runs, 170 weighted runs created. He's had basically an MVP level career at the plate is what he's done here. So for the hits, yeah, he's going to have to hang around a little bit. Honestly, no, he doesn't have to do a darn thing. He's in. If he retired right now, he would be in. If he wants to be more of that generational type player, I think that's where he's going for now. Do you want to be a really good Hall of Famer, or do you want to be generational type Hall of Famer? So if you want to be that generational type Hall of Famer, then we'll probably need to hang out and compile these stats, and that should take care of it. But as of now, yes, he's in. 3 MVPs, 9 top 5 finishes, Rookie of the Year, 11 All-Star games, and 9 Silver Sluggers. So this is what the best player in the game of our generation looks like. He's blowing away the competition. I think if we compared him to a lot of those other guys, like the Mays, the Speakers, the Cobbs, he would be faring very well against them as well here. So that's what we got for you. That's a good one to end on here. We'll finish up with some right fielders, some random DHs, all that kind of good stuff, and then we'll do a top 40 type countdown. So that's what I got for you. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you later.